What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. Today is the 23rd of April 2026 and we are almost at the end of another week. Haven't been doing much trading this week. It's been kind of off for me with the schedule. Being late for work a couple times, plus the moves that we're getting aren't aligning with when I'm actually on the chart. So let's get right into today's video. We'll go over the price action on Nasdaq 100 and the opportunities that we could have gotten. So this is the current standing on these accounts. Like I said, this week has been eh, not much trades. I only traded Tuesday, as you can see, um, and it was break even. No trades yesterday, no trades today. I don't know if tomorrow will bring us something. And on the FTMO 100k, it has been stuck. No trades. I didn't not getting any chance to take any trades, and that's a problem that I've been having. That's why I haven't recovered much. So right now, no trades this week actually. So yeah, that has been it on the accounts. So let's get right into looking at the chart starting from the higher time frame here. So this is actually the Nasdaq 100 chart on the 4 hour, and this is where we are currently at. So today we had a nice little sell off, you know, came down, ran previous daily lows, and we close off the highs and we open with a premium gap right now, and heading higher. So we actually did create all-time highs today again, even though we did not close up there. So my bias today was actually bearish. I wanted to see sales and I almost took some sales today, but I hesitated, and that was a good thing because honestly it would have turned out into a loss. So we've been inside of this range. It's been a rather short week this week. So this has been say 600 points, almost 600 points, and it's been inside of a range. So we have currently Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today Thursday. And like I said, we took previous daily low as well as the high. So still not the cleanest price action, but we have to just work with it until we change. So we are currently at all-time highs, and that's the kind of price action that we are getting. So on the 1 hour time frame, this is what we look like. So stayed within this range. Where did we open last night? So this is the 1 hour. So we opened here. We opened here last night with a little gap. We came down on some volatility. Some moves came out. We gap down, run down, retrace in an instant, and then we ended up selling off to retest those lows. By the time we got into London, midnight open, we ended up coming back up to run the highs of the same day as well as the previous day. So with running those highs, the buyers kinda I wanted to see some sales because I didn't trust this week. We ended up getting those sales later on in the PM session actually when I was off the chart. So running the highs there, and this one came and take out this low, and yeah, that was pretty much the biggest move of the day. And if I was looking at the 15-minute chart, this is what we would have looked like. So the best trade would have been buy here using this order block. Quickly mark it. Buy here. Could have been a buy here. Going up. Another one here. A little retest here. Another one here going up. And I wanted sales. So even here, I was looking for sales. But this liquidity grab was not enough during the New York Open. So we ended up trading up, manipulating up, take out the highs here, and then we finally get that drop in the PM session. So I look at it a little bit more refined, but it's pretty much the same thing on US 30. If I could actually pull up the chart, Yeah, well, we didn't create a high, so we didn't run the high. So this is a SMT between US 30. I think US 500 maybe have went up there. Yeah, so we did go up there, and so we actually selling off a little bit harder than Nasdaq right now. So the peers are a little bit out of sync, which you know it is just what it is. Like this week, it's still a news driven, headline driven market, and we can't complain about that. It's just what it is at the moment. Just have to trade the opportunities that we get. So let me show you now what we actually did. So we opened up right here in the PM session and we just moved sideways for the most part. We had a little bit of a gap before we ended up selling off. I don't recall what actually happened here, but this was a spike around 8 coming all the way down. I think we dropped maybe 300 points here. 300, almost 300 points there, 250 points there before we ended up recovering. And this was a quick recovery. I got in just around to see all of this. I was wondering what's going on. Didn't trade it, trying to avoid those type of stuff. We ended up coming back up and then selling off again. So this kind of messed up the whole Asia range for me actually, because this move, I didn't know what we're going to do, if we're going to come back and target the highs or if we're going to sell off. I was a bit exhausted, so I avoided trading it. So this would have been an ideal entry using this fair value gap inside of the macro right at 10. So the 4 hour candle open right here. We didn't even manipulate up. We just respect this fair value gap. We ended up selling right off back to, I think is the consequent encroachment of the 1 hour wick, and it's also a order block on the 1 minute. I didn't trust it to buy, so I wasn't going to take any buys either. So we ended up doing all of that sales inside of 11 p.m. candle, and we had a nice little change in the state of delivery here, a 15-minute CSD, and this gave us a buy right here. Nice little buy going into midnight. The last time I catch the trade, he was right here. I was off the chart then, so I didn't get to capitalize on that. We had another immediate rebalance of this fair value gap and then a test of this, and we ended up running up to the highs here for another. This one plus this one would have been 100 points. We range a bit through London, and the silver bullet did not give us much except for this short here. This was a beautiful short right here. Was off the chart here as well. London session tends to be really nice sometimes. So using this CB right here, we could have gotten a sell inside of the macro. We had one more here. Nice sell inside of the macro at, this is around 4 a.m. So I was probably just turning there to know that it's soon time to get up. So this would have been a nice sell. We had another entry inside of this special macro because this is around 3 a.m. for me. So I'm not on the charts here, but this would have been a beautiful sell. We had another one here for 70 odd points. So from here, it probably would have been 100 points. Coming all the way down to a new low. I think this one is back inside of this little order block right here. So if I extend this here, right again inside of another macro, we had a OB retest here, and you could have gotten another 50 point scalp to the upside. We ended up retracing again and using this. This is a 50-minute order block right here. I wish I could show you guys the PO3, but I'm not on TradingView Premium, so I can't even bring up the chart and show you how we actually look on the 15-minute alongside the 1 minute. So we had that here, another one here, and these gave us some nice little scalps to go along. These are low risk one. This is a little bit outside of the macro. This one is inside of the macro at 650 to 710. We had another M5 retest right here at 8 o'clock, and that gave us another 100 point run before we ended up reversing. Now this is the kind of tricky part. I was watching here at work. I was inside of the building, so I couldn't even try capitalize because by the time I got situated right here, we already push up, and I didn't like this choppiness right at 9:30 open, so I just decided to avoid. This move was quick. I was moving around, so I didn't capitalize on this. I saw some traders catch this part right here. I was actually marking this and I was hoping to see some type of change inside of here to get a sell, but we did not get that. I actually was going to attempt selling here, but it was outside of the macro, and I really wanted to see these lows get taken. I had these lows down here. So we had the low from pre-market, the low from London, as well as the low from Asia session all the way down here. And so I wasn't interested in capitalizing on any of these buys. Even though they were valid, I wasn't interested. So looking at this right here, we could have capitalized on these buys. But yeah, I wasn't on the charts at here either. I had already shut down the laptop because I was at work. So miss out on this as well. We ended up farming a high here and then rolling over outside of the macro. So this macro gave us a pullback here, and then a 1 p.m. we actually get that sell. And if I actually zoom in right here, zoom in this part right here, this was a beautiful entry right inside of the macro. Beautiful break, retest of this fair value gap. This would have been a beautiful sell. If you enter from up here, then you could have had a very tight stop. So you're risking up here. This could have been an easy 20-30 point stop. To be safe, I would have put my stop up here. And the sell would have taken you all the way down to take out all of those lows. So this line here is Asia low. This one right here is the London low, and this one here is 8:30. The pink line here is the midnight open, and we just took out all of those and came right back to I don't recall what this blue line is. It was the previous daily low. So we actually came down and target the previous daily low by the time we got to um 2. So by the time we got to the PM silver bullet, we already cleared the liquidity, and that was the best trade of the day. We ended up retracing again during the PM session. Not the cleanest of buy here, but if you're really zoning, you could have caught this for another 240 point retracement. Because remember, on the higher time frame, we are still in an uptrend, we're still going up. I just flowing with the narrative. So we had another entry here using this order block. Not the cleanest, but we did go up. This special macro here also gave us a nice little push for power hour, and that's where we close off the day. Like I said, I didn't get to capitalize, but it is what it is, you know. I'm not forcing these trades. I trust my strategy. I sticking to the planet risk management. I'm not going to trade distracted because I can't afford to blow these accounts or go back deeper in drawdown. So any losses that I take, it's not because I'm not following my rules. So that is where I'm at in my journey. So I'm going to just adhere to that and see how best I can recover and start getting some payouts. So that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I'll catch you tomorrow. We will just wrap up the week if I don't catch any trade. So peace.